Barry, one thing in the time we have left I wanted to make sure we covered is that a core theme of your book is that no formula substitutes for judgment.
Correct.
Why is it that we don't use that judgment as often as we should?
Well, I think there are a couple of reasons for it. One is that judgment is not a great thing to depend on if you don't have good judgment. You need good judgment, not just judgment. And in another book I wrote with a different colleague some years ago about wisdom, we made the argument that wisdom is learned, but it can't be taught. And what we meant by that is the way you develop good judgment is by using your judgment, paying attention to the results, and slowly developing better and better judgment as you learn more about the subtleties of the kinds of decisions that you have to make. So you don't, one reason that we rely on rules is that we don't trust the judgment of the people we are asking to follow the rules. That's one. Second, the thing about judgment is context matters and every situation is in some ways unique. And what that means is that the pattern of decisions we make may not be completely, transparently coherent in the eyes of someone else. And in the age we currently live in, as soon as you promote one person but not another, you can almost count on being accused of bias. So the way we protect ourselves from those kinds of accusations is to turn the decision into one that can be made by formula. So when the person who doesn't get the promotion accuses you of bias, you can point to your spreadsheet and say, person A did this, and you didn't do these things. Person A got promoted and you didn't get promoted. So you've got nice, clear, objective evidence that it was performance, measurable performance, and not judgment, not bias, that led to your decision. And there's more and more pressure as a kind of insurance policy for organizations to demand that people in positions of decision-making authority be able to have stuff they can point at that shows A, they treat everyone the same, and B, they actually have good reason for the decisions that they make. So this pushes people to develop rules, even if they know that the rules are really not up to the complexities of the situation. And the last thing I'll say is that relying on people to use their judgment requires that we trust people, not only to have good judgment, but to have good intentions. It isn't enough that I think you can make hard decisions well. I have to also think that your aim in making decisions is a good aim. So do we trust the people we interact with? The people who supervise us, the people we supervise, the students we teach, the professors who teach us, is there enough of a relationship of trust that we have the welfare of other people firmly in mind, such that when I make a judgment call in dealing with a student, the student will trust that I might have made a mistake, but at least the student will trust that my aim was to serve the interests of that student as I saw them. And we don't live in an environment where there's a general atmosphere of trust. Quite the opposite. We live in an environment where there's an atmosphere of deep suspicion. If you are suspicious of other people's intentions, if you are wary about the quality of other people's judgment, you're going to make a rule every chance you can to protect yourself from bad intentions and bad judgment. So that's why it's more of a problem now than it was. And in fairness to modern society, the more diverse society is, the harder it is to use your judgment in a way that seems reasonable and fair to everyone, because people come into a situation with such different perspectives that you almost feel obliged to wedge them into something more formulaic. so that you can treat them all the same. We don't treat our children the same. I don't know how you raised your kids, but one of the things that having a second kid teaches you is that you thought you got it figured out with the first kid. Well, you were wrong, because the second kid needs a completely different set of operations on the part of the parents. Every kid is unique, but we get to know our kids well enough that we can actually make different decisions for kid 2 than we did for kid 1. We tend not to know our employees as well. I certainly don't know the 300 people who are in my introductory class well enough to tailor what I do to the particular needs of each student. Can't do it.